So we're going to French plait today, and this is our progression. So we start with our 3-stranded braid, which we would have learned in the plaiting kit that you have purchased. And it is the 3-stranded plait. And to start off with, what we are going to do is tie a bobble at the top of the hair, and we're just going to do our 3-stranded plait again. And the reason we're popping a bobble up there is our first progression method. It's a way to secure the hair and still be able to plait and know that we've got that super secure. And then the next method, we're going to take that bobble away. So we're just going to go over that 3-stranded plait method, weaving the hair in and out like it says on your plaiting kit. So if you've got your plaiting kit in front of you, maybe just try again, or do it on someone's hair with a bobble at the top just for security. And then after this, we're going to go into the next method that's a little bit trickier, and we're just going to get harder and harder as we go around the head until we can French plait. Now, I've shown this method to several people before who couldn't French plait, and doing it in the variety of different ways has led them to be able to French plait with ease. So it's definitely worth practicing, but you will definitely get there, don't worry. Now we're going to move on to step 2. So step 1 had the bobble in place for security, but on step 2 we're taking that bobble away, and we are just going to be doing a 3-stranded plait with the hair that we've got there. So taking the hair in your hands, separate into 3 sections, and again, if you've got your plaiting kit in front of you, perfect, or if you've already mastered a 3-stranded plait, well done you. What we're going to do is just 3-stranded plait as normal, weaving the hair in and out, but with no bobble at the top, just using the tail of that hair and plaiting all the way down. So we're almost finished this plait, and we're just going to secure it with an elastic at the bottom. Now, you might have found it bizarre that we're doing several different methods to get to your French plait, but I promise you it's absolutely worth it. It's just to cement extra skills into them plaits so you're able to French plait perfectly. We're now going to move on to step 3. Now step 3 is where things start to get a little bit trickier, and you can start to see the French plait idea coming into play. Feel free to hit pause at any point. So what we're going to do is cut the hair in the middle and take that into your 3 sections for your 3-stranded plait. You're going to have a top half and a bottom half. Take your 3 sections, and you're going to start to plait like you usually would, weaving the hair in and out and making sure you drop one in the middle every time. And then what you're going to do is every time you drop a piece, you're going to take a small section of hair with your finger and add it into that piece. So every time you drop a piece, depending on which side it is, you're just going to add an extra bit of hair into it. Don't worry about how much hair it is at the minute, and don't worry about it being too neat. It's just to get that technique. So using your finger, just take an extra bit of hair into each bit that you drop. This may take a bit of practice, don't worry, that's why we've only done it with half the section. And this section you might want to practice over and over again. So step 3 is really quite important. It's the foundation to you getting your French plait done. So just slowly take in sections, each time you drop a bit, add in a section. So once it's dropped into the middle and you take it to the side, you just add that extra little bit of hair in. Like I say, pause this video if needed and keep coming back to it. This is your first step into fully French plaiting. Plait all the way to the bottom and secure with an elastic, and we're going to move on to step 4 in a minute. So we're moving on to step 4. It's very similar to step 3. With step 3, we only did it with a small amount of hair, so we cut it in half and we only did the very bottom, whereas this time we're going to start at the top. So it's exactly the same method, but we're just going to be doing more sections because we're starting at the top. So it's just important to remember all we are doing really is adding a bit of hair to each section. That is all it is in the grand scheme of things, and I think we're all guilty of overthinking this step. Just slowly work your way down the hair, and if you need to watch this video before you do it practically, I think that is a really, really good idea. If you've purchased the plaiting kit, just use that as a guide. It's there to help you. Just gradually go down the hair, taking more hair into every section that you drop. So once you've dropped it, take some more hair into it and carry on plaiting. So every section you drop, take extra hair and keep going. It does take practice. Please don't think you're going to be perfect first time. The more you practice, the better you will become. So don't worry if there's lumps and bumps or there's bits of hair that are falling out or it's a bit wonky. It's not a problem. The more you practice this, the better it will become. Once you've got all the way to the bottom, tie off with an elastic. And we're going to do our final plait where we're just going to completely do it all over again, but a whole side of hair. So the more hair you've got, the more sections you'll be adding hair into, the more hair that gets used in the long run. Great, so we've done our 4 main steps into learning to French plait, and now we're going to do just a final French plait down the rest of the hair, just so you can see the technique over and over again. So key things that I would mention when we are doing French plaits is direction. So if you want the plait to go down the back of the head like I have done here, you need to make sure you are standing behind your lady or behind the person you're working on, and you're plaiting backwards towards you. If you wanted it to go down the side, for instance, you would stand to the side and you would work down the hair. The other thing to mention is round by the neck. If you are working towards the nape of the neck, keep the hair in line with the head. Do not pull it away from the head because the plait will then sag slightly. So the closer you stay to the head, the more the plait will sit on the head as opposed to sitting out from the head. So they're really quite key things to mention. The other thing is, don't think that, it's only going to take a couple of attempts and you'll be perfect. It took me a couple of months to perfect this skill when I was a lot younger, and it will be exactly the same for you. The other thing I'd mention is if you're working on yourself, doing it on yourself, try not to overthink it, especially if you are looking in a mirror, because it will be backwards. So try not to overthink it too much and just start off with small sections. I still find it a bit of a struggle every now and then doing a full 1 French plait down the side of my head. I like to do 2 just to make it a bit easier because you do get arm ache. I'm going to show you in a minute all of the plaits as a slight overview just so you can see them all. But I think the key thing is just to have fun with it as well. Try not to overthink it. The more you practice, the better you will become. So here you've got your first section that we did with the elastic band for security, and then we took it away and we just did a 3-stranded plait. So these first 2 you can use the plaiting kit as a guide. Then we did section 3 where we took the hair in half and we started working down, and then on section 4 we went from a little bit higher, and then section 5 was our full French plait. We hope you've got on well with this. We're always here to help. So if you need any more help, do drop us a message and we'll endeavour to get back to you and make sure that you can do this.